A very cheerful morning to all my dear students. I hope you all are fine and taking good care of your health. So let's start today's class with a word of the day. And today's word is eternity. Eternity, time that never ends. And the sentence for the word is may our friendship remain still eternity. So pronounce along with me eternity. Eternity, time that never ends. So let's start today's class. So today we are going to start next chapter from the literature, chapter number 10, Why. It is a poem written by Anonymous. Children, why? You also asked your parents so many questions, why this, why that, why we are going out of town, why we are going for shopping. Okay, so all these questions indicate your curious nature. What do you mean by curious? The one who wants to know about everything. Okay, that is called as curiosity. That we want to know about each and everything happening around us. So, same way, the poem is about a curious boy who wants to know everything. Okay, so let's first read the poem complete. I know a little curious boy who is always asking why this, why that, why then, why now, why not, why by and by. He wants to know why wood should float, why lead and marbles sink, why stars should shine and winds should blow, and why we eat and drink. He wants to know what makes the cloud and why they cross the sky, why the sun sinks behind the hills, and why the flowers die. He wants to know why wind should come from out the bellows nose, why pop guns should go pop, and why the ocean ebbs and flows. He wants to know why fish have gills and why boys cannot fly, why steam comes from the kettle spout and rain falls from the sky. He wants to know why coal should burn and not a bit of stone. How seeds get in the apple core and marrow in the bone. He wants to know why eyes should float, why spiders eat the flies, why bees should sting, and why the yeast should make the bread dough rise. Some of his why are not too hard to answer if you will try, but other no one ever yet has found the reason why. So, as I told you, the poem is about a curious boy who wants to know everything. So the boy is always asking why this, why that, why then, why now. He wants to know why wood float on the water and why lead and marbles sink. Okay, and why stars should shine and wind should blow, and why we eat and drink. So, the boy wants to know each and every small thing he observed in the nature as well as the way we had our food, we had water, the same question arising in his mind, that why we people eat and drink. Okay, why wood is floating on the water, and it, in comparison to that, lead and marbles, they are not floating, they are sinking. So regarding stars also, he wants to know why stars should shine and wind should blow. In the second stanza, he wants to know what make the clouds. What make the clouds and why they cross the sky. Why the clouds are in the sky and what actually the clouds are made of. Why the sun sinks behind the hills and why the flowers die. Why the flowers die. Okay, and why the sun sets behind the hills. So he had a questions whatever he observed in the nature. He wanted to know each and everything, the reason behind all these activities. Okay, next he wants to know why wind should come from out the bellows nose and why pop guns should go pop and why the ocean ebbs and flows. Okay, so the boy wants to know why wind should come from out the bellows nose and why popcorns should go pop and why the ocean ebbs and flows. What do you mean by this stanza? Bellow, what do you mean by bellow? So the boy wants to know why the wind should come from the bellows nose. Bellow is a pipe for driving air into the fire. So why the wind is coming when we blow the air from the pipe. Okay, when we it is a pipe actually from where the air is coming, driving into the fire, right? And why popcorns should go pop pop and why the ocean ebbs and flows. For this I would like to show you the picture of popcorn and ocean ebb and flow. See, this is a toy gun, pop gun. It is a toy gun kind of gun which uses the air pressure to throw the cork out of the barrel. This is a cork and this is a pop gun, okay, which uses the air pressure to drive this cork out of the barrel. So it is a kind of a toy gun. Regarding this also the boy is curious why and how this pop gun should pop the guns, right? And second, I told you ocean ebb and flow. Ebb is a outgoing phase and flow is a incoming phase of the tides. As you have observed oceans many time, water sometime the water is going away from us, and after that and some tides are coming toward us and some are going away from us. That is the ocean ebb and flow. Ebb is the outgoing phase when when the tides drain away, and flow is the incoming phase when the water rises again, right? So I hope it is clear. Regarding these two things, the boy is curious why the ocean ebb and flow. Why the ocean ebb and flow here? I told you why the water rises and why it is in the outgoing phase and incoming phase. Ebb means when the water is going away, and air flow means when the water is rising towards our side, right? So it is a the boy wants to know the reason behind ocean ebb and flow. Okay, after that he wants to know why fish have gills. Gills are the respiratory organs of fish. Fish breathe through gills. You all know that. Regarding that, also, boy wants to know why the fish have gills and why boys cannot fly. Why steam comes from the kettle spout. Kettle, you all know kettle, where in which we had tea, and when the guest come and when we usually had tea, we pour the tea from the kettle, and from when we pour the hot tea into the kettle, steam comes out from the kettle. Or we are having electronic kettles also, when we boil the water in the kettle, the steam comes out. Regarding that also, the boy was curious that why the steam comes from the kettle spout. Spout is the opening of the kettle, right? And rain falls from the sky. He wants to know why the rain falls from the sky. Then again, the other concept he wants to know about the coal and stone, that why coal should burn but not a bit of stone. The reason behind it is coal, the stone does not contain the particles which are flammable, right? That's why we cannot burn the stone. But here, boy wants to know why. The reason I am telling you, but the boy doesn't get the answer, and that's why he's saying, he was asking why coal should burn and not a bit of stone. Flammable, I use the word flammable. Flammable means the things which can be heated, which can be burnt. Okay. Next, the boy wanted to know how seeds get in the apple core. We all eat apple, right? In the apple, inside the apple we have few seeds, little one, two seeds are there. He wanted to know about the how the seeds get in the apple core and marrow in the bone. Bone marrow, you all know, in our body we are having a bone marrow. That's, yeah. So he wanted to know about how the marrow in the bone exists. He wants to know why ice should melt, why spider eat the flies, and why bees should sting. So, regarding each and every activity he observed, he wanted to know the reason behind all this. Why ice should melt, why spider eat the flies, and why bees should sting. Sting means why bees bite, right? And why the yeast should make the bread of rice. Why we yeast is a type of fungus. Why yeast is responsible for the rising of bread dough. Some of his why are not too hard to answer if you will try. The poet said, these questions are not really hard to answer, but no one ever yet has found the reason why. But nobody has got the reason behind, nobody got the answer for all these whys. So this is a very short poem and very interesting too, to know about the boy's curiosity as he observed the nature very carefully, and he wanted to know the reason behind all the activities he observed in the nature as well as in his life. I hope you enjoyed today's class. Just go through the poem yourself, read the poem yourself, and try to write the summary of the poem. Summary means write whatever you understood from the poem, write it in your own words. Like the poem was written by Anonymous, and the poem is about a curious boy which shows his curiosity to know about everything. Like he wanted to know why wood should float as compared to leaden marbles that go sink. Okay, that sink in water. Why ice should melt, why boys cannot fly, why spider eat the flies, and why bees should sting. Then he also wanted to know why coal should burn but not a bit of stone, how the seeds get into the apple core, and how marrow in the bone, how yeast is responsible for the rise of bread dough. As I told you, how yeast is responsible, yeast converts the sugar present in the bread into carbon dioxide and alcohol. Okay, and so I was telling you how yeast is responsible for the rise of bread dough. Dough consists of yeast converts the sugar present in the dough into carbon dioxide and alcohol. Carbon dioxide is a gas which is responsible for the rise of bread dough. Okay, and the alcohol produced during fermentation, it gets evaporate during baking. So you got the answer why yeast is responsible for the rise of bread dough, but the boy didn't get his answer. Similarly, he also wanted to know what makes the cloud and why they cross the sky, why sun sinks behind the hills, and why flowers die, why the fish have gills, why steam comes out from the kettle spout, and why the rain is coming from the falling from the sky. So these are all small questions which creates lot of questions in the boy's mind, and because of that he wanted to know the reason behind all these activities. So I hope the poem is clear to you. So once again, read the poem yourself and try to write the summary of poem in your own words. Thank you.